Hello.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is 1 o'clock. It is lunchtime, and we are the Luscious Ladies live. How are you, ladies, today?
Woo!
Lucy, how are you doing, my lovely? You had a wedding yesterday. Are you feeling rough or are you feeling good?
I'm feeling rough, but I'm feeling happy because it was the most amazing day of my life. It was just amazing. Yeah, so feel a little bit delicate. Had a ketones to bring me back to life.
Excellent. So you're with it, all guns blazing. What about you, Jessica? How are you this weekend in this crazy heat?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I didn't really do much. I pretty much just took the kids to the park for one day and chased the shade round it, as you tend to do, you know, like chase the shade all weekend. And that's about it, actually. I didn't really get up to much. Well, Lucy took all the energy things to go on this week and did something big. Something big, but you did something big. I mean, weddings. I mean, that's the big thing, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And they've waited for this day for so long because it's been cancelled twice. Oh. So they just decided to go for it. I know it was the day before Freedom Day, but it was Freedom Day there yesterday, believe you me. Woohoo!
Brilliant.
Love that. Vicky, what did you get up to? What were you up to?
Yeah, well, Saturday I did really exciting things like gardening, which is a bit bonkers in the sunshine because it was ridiculously hot. Trying to mow the lawn and do weeding, but there you go. And then yesterday, believe it or not, I spent a day in a hotel room having a fight getting the Wi-Fi working because I wanted to do some studying and take an exam because I knew that when I do this stuff at home, I get seriously distracted and don't focus. So I booked a local hotel. And it took me an hour to get bloody Wi-Fi working.
No.
And they had no aircon. It was a very sweaty experience, but it was worth it. So I did that part of the exam. I just hope the rest of it, the written stuff, is done, but the actual exam is finished and passed. So that was my exciting weekend. Amazing. I only got back an hour ago.
Really? Oh! We've not been back long. Oh, what exam is it for, Vicky?
It's for my integrative health, nutrition, and lifestyle coaching. It's like the next level. So there's like tiers 4, 5, 6, blah blah blah. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Always studying, always learning. There's always more to learn.
What isn't there?
Always more to learn. Definitely.
I don't think I've ever stopped. I think it's just like as soon as I got out of the school age, I had about a year where I just was like completely rebelled. I'm like, I'm not doing any of this anymore. And then since then, all I've done every year on top of it has gone, let's do a different course. Let's learn something new. It's funny, isn't it? Like,
yeah. And you've got to find things what ticks your boxes as well. So, I mean, at school, it
wasn't algebra. It wasn't.
No, you're just like, oh, crikey. Yeah, you've got to really try and tune into the things what you find enjoyable. Learning should be fun.
Absolutely. But talking about learning and what we did at school and as kids, did you know when you were little who you wanted to be? Did you have somebody that you were like, when I grow up, I want to be?
I always wanted to be an air hostess.
So she just an air hostess.
Yeah.
An air hostess.
I think that was one of those things, that a lot of girls kind of aspired to because it looked so glamorous, didn't it?
Yeah, so then obviously when you was on that plane going on holiday, you always wanted to kind of be that glamorous girl coming serving tea and coffee. And I went for an interview, didn't get the job. My dad took me. I didn't get the job, and then he just said, "Come on, let's just make you a clown character, shall we?" I was like, "Go on then." I'm like, well, what was the point in all that for 2 years studying leisure and tourism to get to that point where you don't get the interview and then makes you a clown character? So
but that's the way it often goes, though, isn't it? I really do believe that the universe kind of points you in the right direction, and if you don't get that thing, it's probably for a reason, even though it don't feel like it at the time.
I know.
What about you, Jessica? What did you aspire to be?
I don't think, I think I was one of those really weird kids that just couldn't decide about anything. I mean, of course you have the normal stuff, like the that the doctor thing, because you want to be all like professional and all that kind of stuff. I never had mum on my list, which was interesting, and one. But you know what? I do remember Lucy saying that, having a conversation with a friend, like literally we would have been in our very early sort of 20s, sort of joking about how we could get into the sex industry as a business. And it's really interesting looking back on that now, going, oh my God, I did it. Like, and then it kind of like, there's a little bit of annoys me though, a little bit, because I think I could have done it 15 years earlier, just thinking like, oh, what have I just done? But yeah, I when I think back on that, I think that's really freaky. Like how we were literally working out, how could we do this genuinely without becoming escorts?
And then you figured it out. There you go.
And I figured it out. I haven't figured it out. So
Brilliant.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I think I went through the usual. I went to be a vet. I remember James Perrier used to be on a Sunday night, didn't it? And Creatures Great and Small. And I was just like, that's what I want to do. I want to do that. I want to be a vet. And then I actually realised that when it came to studying and doing the exams, I wasn't that good at the sciences. I wasn't going to cut it as a vet. So then I wanted to be an actress. And I did do quite a lot of amateur dramatics for quite a while, until I'll never forget. And I went to Manchester Youth Theatre, which was a brilliant experience.
Really?
But I can remember my dad saying that something along the lines of only about 1% of people who want to be actresses actually make it. And bless him, he was blunt to a point of, being hurtful but not meaning to be. It was, hey, lass, you haven't got what it takes.
No, that's parenting there, isn't it? It's just like going, I love you, but let's work on something else.
Yeah. So that was that, and then that was it. Yeah, I think usual, wanted to be an air hostess, but I didn't, like you, I did not follow it through, Lucy. I was just like, it would be nice. But
yeah. My mum's thought, I've never looked back. I've not. It's the best job in the world. It really seems. But
you now are in the world of parties and helping people to have fun, which kind of, in a way, is much more enjoyable, I think, than serving people on a plane in a confined space.
I
know.
Grumpy as a good or what?
Could you imagine that? Like now, knowing the life experience you have now, I mean, the idea of that just is not appealing at all, is it? Like thinking about them aisles have shrunk, right?
Yes. The grandma people there is smaller today.
Yeah. Either way, though, I would have been out of a job, though. Entertainer and air hostess. I would have still been hit in the COVID thing, but anyway.
Yeah, but we will touch on it, but literally only for a couple of minutes. So it is apparently Freedom Day, whatever that means. And so now we are free to do whatever we want to do. I think the general feel is that people aren't going to do stuff that much differently.
No.
Are you getting that vibe?
Yeah. It's like
it's no different, really. Is it?
Yeah. I mean, the kind of restriction things for me that have kind of been lifted enough is actually like hasn't made much of a difference. I think partly to do with being in a rural setting as well, out of a big city kind of environment. It's been a bit loose, a bit looser. It's been looser. I don't know. It's been loose around here. I don't know. I've been looser.
You're in a loose village, are you, Jessica?
Yeah, I'm in a bit of a loose village. It fits me perfectly. Yeah. But I mean, I think I was looking forward to going to Sainsbury's with a mask on. And now after our chat, like a couple of weeks ago, I'm now like, darn, I'm going to wear the mask. Yeah. And it was really weird because I was very adamant. I was like, that mask is coming off. It is coming off. It's not happening. And then even after our chat, I was like, oh, I'm going to wear the mask. Interesting to see.
It will be interesting because there will definitely be a number of people who will be just like, thank God, ceremonial burning of all face masks. And then there'll be others who will be like, well, you know what, I'm going to put it on when I'm around people that potentially, I don't know, how close they might get to me, not on purpose, but they might. And you just don't know. And I think that's kind of sensible. It's just taking responsibility really for looking after yourself and being a bit mindful that, people, you just don't know who they might be in contact with. And I think if you're in an environment where there's a lot of people, it just kind of it's going to make a lot of people, including me, feel a bit safer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there we go. So we've done Freedom Day.
I know, we've done Freedom Day. Lucy's did it yesterday. I've forgotten.
Yeah, I'm just wondering that is now we've done this. It'll be interesting to see how long COVID is still part of the conversation, because it's just like, can we just change it now? I mean, it was Brexit forever, wasn't it? And the COVID was almost a refreshing change. And from Brexit, because everywhere you turned was that. And now we've all forgotten about Brexit because COVID's taken over. So I'm like, I wonder what is the next thing that's going to be centre of the news attention and everybody twittering and tweeting on
the I reckon we'll be keeping this for a long period still. A lot of like going up and down and all these conversations around it, and we might have another lockdown. You never know, like all this kind of stuff. I reckon we're all going to be on tenterhooks for about another 2 years at this rate. I think, like, just waiting to see. I'm like thinking now. I'm thinking, do you even sort out a holiday for next year? Because around now, I'd think about where my holidays are next, like for the following year for summer for the kids. And now it's like,
interesting. Go on, Lucy.
I wouldn't really kind of be booking any holidays abroad for this year at all, would you? Because I just think the stress of it, of like my cousin's wedding, there was probably 10 families what couldn't go because they were in isolation. One being my sister, which was just, but we still connected with her. We was on Zoom and she still put her wedding stuff on, and we made it kind of special for her, and that's the situation what we're in at the moment. But thinking about going on holiday, that was in this country, so the thoughts of like going on holiday and having to worry about it for before, because there's always somebody going to be in isolation. It was so stressful the week before the wedding, because we've all been waiting for it. And Tara's putting a love out on there. It was Tara who was in isolation, bless her. And it's too stressful.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? It's the stress of it. I mean, I know we've spoken before about that whole going out and about, and actually the anxiety levels are different now because we are kind of like really conscious about like being near people and all that kind of stuff as well. Like getting on a plane, no. I mean, I'm meant to be in the Netherlands at the end of August. I mean, I'm pretty much it's going to be cancelled, but part of me just wishes they would just cancel it now, because it's a bit like you can't go, and that's what does me in. It's just like you just don't like, you know, it's not going to happen. You know, plus also, do I want to pay that exorbitant price of like getting tested when I come back? Like it can be like really expensive. Do you want it cancelled so I know I've got a spare week where I could do stuff with? Or it's just like we might never get on a plane again. I don't know.
Well, who knows? I think we will all look at how we holiday differently. But I think also we need to take stock in this country about, you know, just how we are comparing ourselves and what we're actually offering to people who want a staycation. Because I was listening to somebody talking about the difference cost-wise to going abroad and staying here. And it still is cheaper, even with all of the testing, for them to go abroad. And you kind of think, you know what, if we're pricing ourselves out of the market for even people who live in this country, are we actually going to be, you know, open and inviting to people from elsewhere? Because ultimately we do need to get people to this country to keep this country economically viable. And so, I think, you know what, those who are in that kind of industry need to kind of look at maybe what we're offering. And I understand the service industry. You've studied it, Lucy, so you know how much work and effort is involved in running a hotel or any kind of establishment where the general public's coming in. I think somehow we need to work out how we can make it just that little bit more accessible, so we don't price ourselves out of the market.
That's it. I know. I mean, we should have been going abroad for a wedding, for my sister's wedding, and we cancelled that. But we've not rebooked anything in this country because one, it was too expensive, and then I was just like, do you know what? I prefer just to have a good time going out, making people happy, creating some parties within street parties, and people end up just making their own fun.
That's an idea.
I'm having fun as well at the same time. I'm getting some money back in the bank for my business, because that if I was to go away now in these next busy 6 weeks while the kids are off school, it'd be crazy for me. It make me fun. I know money doesn't bring you happiness, but and it helps to just survive my business. So as long as I'm out there making people happy, seeing people having a good time in this country, and like you say, but we chose not to go abroad, go on holiday in this country, because it was like £1,000 just to go away for a week, and I was like, I prefer just to go out for some nice meals and enjoy the sunshine. Tara's on here. She looks like Tara looks like she's been to Calador, because she's been in the garden while she's in isolation. We popped round with some donuts from the wedding, and we drove off, and Stuart went, crikey, they look like they've been to Calador. You want to see the dance?
Fantastic. There you go. See, well, we've got weather like this, we don't really need to go for the weather. But it's not that, is it? We go away for the change of scene and the environment, and
like you to work. You even do that, like to get out of that space, right?
Absolutely.
Just have some street parties and think you're in Calador.
Talking of parties, then, childhood parties. We were just discussing that. I mean, I look at now, obviously the internet is not a true picture, as we know, of everything that goes on. But when I look now at sort of the parties that young kids and teenagers and stuff are having, compared to the ones that we used to have,
I know
it feels like it's a whole other world. So, Jessica, what were your childhood parties like?
What were my childhood parties like? Do you know what? I do remember that I had a magician one year. I do remember I did have a magician. But yeah, they were really kind of like, well, all I know now is just like, the first few years you just have to have every kid. And I remember the sitting room of my parents being absolutely packed with people for 1 year. Then when it comes to the ones I remember, they were literally like going to the cinema with like 3 friends and things like that. They weren't like, there wasn't the variety of stuff that you could kind of do these days. You couldn't do trampoline parks. There weren't the entertainers that you could get hold of to like come in and do things, which are a lifesaver now, by the way, Lucy. I mean, you have to just having that hour and a half with all these kids and just kind of going, here's an entertainer, and you can just stand back. I'm like, oh, amazing. Worth the weight in gold.
McDonald's, we thought like that was like an amazing party, but having it at McDonald's. But now McDonald's it's not even a treat, it's just a part of life for these kids.
I must have McDonald's. And my parties were a bit like yours, Jessica, but I remember we used to play games. I just remember that it was about playing games, and we used to do the tray thing, where you have tray objects on a tray, and you've got to take some away, and people have to remember what was on there, and we did blind taste testing, which used to be hilarious.
I might put that back in my show, Vicky.
But it was just like real old school entertainment and playing past the parcel and musical chairs.
But hand in a box.
Yeah.
Your hand in the box.
And my favourite one, well, of course it was, because chocolate was involved, but was eating a bar of dairy milk with a knife and fork. Do you remember doing that?
I've never done that.
Such fun. You pass it, you literally have to go. You get a time, and you're not allowed to use your fingers at all. And you've got to take the wrapper off, and you've got to try and get a piece off, but you've only got a set amount of time. And it's like, it is a music stops type of thing. But those kinds of things, I mean, we're all competitive when I think about it. Now when you look at it, and so I can see why people don't do that, because potentially there could have been a lot of arguments. I do remember kids pushing people off chairs.
But when they're really little, don't they? When they're really little, like you can watch them at the parties and you can see the kids' faces when they haven't got the present, like on the thing, and you're just kind of going, oh, okay. But when you're really like, I still remember like when you're going round, and as the adult, it's really stressful because you have to make sure you stop it for every kid. And so you're going to go, did that one go yet? I don't know if that one's done.
And then it was peace and quiet at the end with sleeping lions. to bring them all down before the parents used to come and pick
stay there for half an hour. This is the finisher.
Half an hour. We'd love that now. That would be a great party. Let's do that.
Oh, yeah.
Bit of a far cry from what's around now when you look at what kids are doing. But I mean, I have to say that if I went to a party where there's an entertainer, I was like, oh my God, this must be really posh.
Yeah, me too. So this is quite good.
So Lucy, you obviously were part of kids' parties from being a young age.
Yeah, so I did most little ones' parties because I worked with my dad from the age of 6. So now people are booking me now for their children and I went to their party, which is just like,
oh, that's
it's but yeah, we come. Tara's on here, my mum's on here. We come from a party family, and just seeing the wedding yesterday, you can tell that we know how to party. It was part of our upbringing. My mum had a fancy dress hire. Actually, this is us. Actually,
yeah, that there.
Yeah,
kind of. I can see Vicky like in the thing.
Yeah,
I can see a reflection of her. Oh, there you go.
So we were brought up with parties, but like I say, I went along and entertained loads like every weekend with my dad. So parties these days we make a massive thing of. Any excuse for a party, us. Do you know what I mean? So
are they really different though now, Lucy, to when you were doing them with your dad? Are they really different now, or are they actually pretty much the same?
Do you know what? I don't know. Actually, it's coming back round. It's now after COVID. Like a lovely gentleman's just phoned up now, and he's booking for his 2-year-old. But he was like, they're all saying it's not just a party for them. It's a party for all of us. And that's what I'm seeing now. The parties are very much for the whole family, not just the child. Which that's, but back in the day when I worked with my dad, kids were just dropped off at a party.
Yeah.
But whereas now the parents come as well, and but I don't know, because is it going to be where they get dropped off? Do you know when that big party comes back? You know, where you hire a hall,
right?
And you. I've not experienced that yet. Do you know the big party? I've only experienced more families.
Right. So time will tell then on that one.
It's literally the best part about when the kids are that age, to be able to go when a party invitation comes through, and in brackets it says this is a drop-off party, and I'm like, whoa, yes.
Well, you see, I'll be honest, mine have always had a drop-off party because I work every weekend. So it's always been Stuart who's had to take the kids. So he's just always just thrown Dad can do that.
But they can. Do you know what? Don't get me on that subject, because they can. Completely guilt-free, without hovering for a little bit, feeling like if you should stay. Yeah. Dan will just go like, there you go, bye.
Bye. Yeah, that's it.
Door's still open. He's driving off.
So my kids have always been dropped off. But Martha, my middle child, loves adult company, so she'd always go and just chat to one of the other mums. So I'd get a text halfway through my shows going, "Oh, just chatting to Martha. She's telling me everything here." I'm like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "That working out." I'm like, "Oh, she just did. She just never joined in. She just wanted to sit there and." With a brew and chat to all the parents instead.
Brilliant. But that's cool, isn't it? I mean, absolutely. But that's her enjoyment of it. It was different conversation, and so a party is, I suppose, really what you make it, isn't it? Yeah. And that's what it's all about. So, will you be having anything exciting party-wise this weekend, Lucy?
This weekend?
Yeah, this coming one.
This next coming one, we might Tara's on here. Let's make our own party. A coming out of isolation party for Tara. Yeah, let's do it.
How about you, Jessica? Have you got anything lined up for the weekend to look forward to?
Well, I am off on holiday on Saturday, so it is the week to Devon. So yes, so that should be fun, enjoyable. I'm hoping it's not meant to be quite as hot, so I'm hoping that that's actually going to be a good thing. Yeah. With the kids, but there's quite a few of us kind of going down, so I'm in charge. I've made a whole itinerary of exactly where where we're going, what days, what time everyone needs to get their butts in gear, because that's just the kind of person I am. Holiday, everyone.
Wait.
Relax.
And
follow,
you will enjoy
follow my rules, okay, with it, okay?
Where are you doing anything, Vicky?
This weekend? No, do you know what? I'm taking a bit of time out on Wednesday, just to spend time with my daughter because I disappeared yesterday. So I'm having my Sunday on Wednesday morning because I like to mix it up. Why? Because I can. So I haven't actually got anything planned, but I do keep looking because where I do my work, both upstairs and downstairs, because I hate being in the same room all the time. I'm at the back of the house, and so I can see the garden. So every time I look, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to need to do some more work in that garden. So that's on the cards. And we're also doing a little bit of internal decorating as well, as you do. So a domesticated household filled activity weekend, I feel.
Yeah, but that makes you feel good, though, doesn't it, when you have a bit of a clear out in your house?
It does, although it's secret. I bought some drawers at Christmas to replace ones where I've got 2 drawers that don't quite fit on the runners at the moment, right?
Right.
And then I still haven't made them.
I was going to say, are they still in the box?
Yep, they are. So
Yeah.
that's somewhere on the cards at some point.
That sounds like something that I would do. I'd be like, must buy everything and then just not quite get them into position.
Yeah.
Same
I
here.
need to do what I tell my clients to do, and that's put it in my diary and make an appointment with myself to actually do that job.
Yeah.
Yes, everything needs to go in our diaries. You should block everything out.
I know. Definitely.
Everything.
Getting better at it. Getting better.
Yeah. I don't get stuff done without it. No.
So what just to wrap up then, folks, what would you like to leave our listeners with? Have you got anything up and coming course-wise? Are you appearing on any podcasts? Is there anything happening that you'd like to share with our lovely listeners? Go, Jessica.
Do you know what? Apart from like I'm mentioning again and reminding anyone, if anyone's got any school-age kids and they've got information about how they got sex educated. Otherwise, no, I think because it's hit summer holidays, my brain kind of tends to shut off as well, which is really bad. I don't know if anyone else has that problem, but it's like as if I've got 6 weeks off and then I hit the first week of it and go, no, I don't. But I don't know why it kind of gets stuck there, as if I did as well. I don't know. So I especially having the first week of it off, going away, probably even worse. I'm going to be like losing the plot sometime soon, I think, if I haven't already. So no, when it comes to what I'm actually doing work-wise, who knows? No,
we will await to see. It's a surprise.
Wait to see the surprise.
What about you, Lucy? Are you still?
No, it's interesting that, isn't it? When you're building up to a holiday and stuff, your brain just shuts off. I tend to go really quiet, as though like I can't even really speak much more, because I think you just go into that holiday mode, don't you? Of like, right, I am totally switching off. So yeah,
we to do though, don't we?
Yeah, definitely. That's good. It's your body. Your body's very clever, isn't it? It's your body's telling it's the mind that, right, here we go. It's time for a nap. Work. Yes. Yeah. I've got something really exciting happening. So in September, there's a festival happening in Shropshire. It's for 4 days, and it's called the Secret Session Festival, which I just love. And it's to all you powerhouse women out there. It's a family festival, but it's more women based. You're loving the secret sessions, aren't you, Jessica?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's just like, what a name. Loving it.
And it's got this gorgeous kind of peacock kind of logo-y thing. So there's the launch for it on Sunday, 5 till 7 on this Sunday in Manchester. So I'm going along to that. And then I'll be able to tell you more about what's happening. And it's just an amazing place. The festival is just going to be amazing. I'm just reading here. It's a lot of musical talent, connection, crystals, sound healing, and a few other surprises in there. So it's just going to be an amazing festival. So I will keep you all posted. It's from the 2nd to the 5th of September. It is.
Fantastic. So when you've been to this thing in Manchester, you can fill us in on more, and then when you know more, we'll share a link.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I think it'd be great for us all to go along to the well, I'm going to be at the festival anyway, but it'd be great. I'd love to have a Luscious Ladies live session on there.
it sounds cool. Well, we'll definitely have to pursue that. That's for sure. Excellent, folks. Well, as usual, it has flown half an hour. It just goes poof when we're just chatting. As those of you who know, who regularly catch up with friends and have a coffee, you do know that the time does just disappear, whether it's virtual or in real life. So on that note, folks, I'm going to say have a lovely rest of your week, whatever you do. Obviously be sensible and safe in the sun, but do enjoy it. Get outside in nature and fresh air, because in the UK, we really don't know how long it's going to last for. Any last words, folks, from any of you?
So I'll just say I'll be missing next week, so have a good one. Without me, it'll be the first one, but I will be back in a fortnight.
You've just reminded me.
Remember that
next week. We're all not here next week.
We're all not here next week. Yeah, good reminder.
See, you're not here either, are you?
No, I'm in Liverpool with my friend Annie. Woohoo! Can't wait.
So there is no Luscious Ladies lunching next week. So we will have 2 weeks worth of gossip to catch up on the following week, which is rather exciting. So on that note, folks, I'm going to wish you goodbye and farewell. Lucy, thank you so much. Jessica, as always, it's a pleasure. Thank you all for watching. If you are watching on replay, please do put #replay. If you've got any comments, questions, we would love you to put them in the box. And don't forget, we are also on podcast every Friday. So if you don't get a chance to watch us live, you can listen to us later on in the week. Have a great week, folks. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.